Today we have a look at two nicely made Klotzli gentleman knives. Both are designed by the famous knife designer Michael Walker, and Klotzli has a license to make these knives. We have in their respective nice leather pouches the Klotzli Sailor and the Klotzli Walker 05, which we'll look at first. I already mentioned Klotzli in a previous video blog where I tested the Walker 06 and the Walker 03, so it's probably worth viewing if you're into this kind of very nicely made modern knives. Klotzli is a very small Swiss company, just a handful of employees who really strive for total perfection. So it's really, we're talking about very nicely put together knives, which honestly when it comes to fit and finish, they are the equal of whatever you can find. It's just as nicely made as Chris Reeve knives, which are more popular when we're talking about high-end quality knives. More expensive as well usually, Chris Reeve. But these knives are more geared towards a gentleman usage, which doesn't mean that they are weak. No, they are really nicely put together and will give years of good service. So the Walker 05, what do we see immediately? Well, titanium handle. Klotzli has often titanium as a material, and you can already see the nice craftsmanship. You see here you have polished titanium, and here sandblasted, which gives a nice contrast with the matte. Dark brown wood inlay. I don't know exactly which wood it is. It doesn't matter. It looks good. Which is actually, if you look at it, if the camera picks up the detail, this piece of wood is inlaid between the other two parts of the handle, which are a bit higher. So really, it's quite a lot of work to make this. They really spend some time doing it properly. Clip here, like all Klotzlis, the four that I have, they are designed for point tip up carry, which I prefer actually tip down, but doesn't matter so much. Model also exists without the clip, so if you're interested in one, you have to watch out that you don't order it with or without the clip, depending on what you want. In general, so this knife is quite big. It has a 9 centimeter blade, which is 3.5 inches or so. So it's quite a big pocket knife already, and I think it can very well be used instead of a typical like Hiol or a Luthier. So a really stylish knife. It's also very good at home for food, but also for general cutting tasks. A liner lock, being a Michael Walker design, it's a nicely adjusted liner with made of titan as well. Blade is ATS 34, which is a decent steel. This is, if you can see it, this is from the Klotzli collection, which actually show this is their best finish, this kind of nicely, the one with Klotzli collection. But I must say, whether it says collection or not, they're always perfectly finished. It's a bit more luxurious here with the shiny and the matte. The blades are hand ground, hollow ground, very nice. It's kind of a Warncliffe blade. You see tip goes on, but many Warncliffes are totally straight. Now the Klotzli have actually a slight belly, which actually in my opinion makes for a really good cutting when you're cutting vegetables or meat. It goes very well with it if you have a bit of a belly there. That goes very nice. So this blade, yeah, it looks a bit like a bird in my opinion, a beak of a bird. They say, I read once, that this kind of blade was invented actually for sailors. So if they would drop the knife on a rocking ship, that there's less chance of it piercing their feet. However, this would still pierce. Being a Klotzli, it's perfectly sharp. I would say this is a very nice, somewhat bigger gentleman knife. It's a bit the balance is a bit towards the front because the blade is heavier than the light handle, which is a bit getting used to, but it's not an issue. It's just an observation. It says, if the camera focuses, it says Walker design and Swiss made there. Well, it's more or less perfect actually, as most Klotzlis are in their own way. This is perfect. Also flush mounting of the screws. Perfect. There's Perhaps it could have used a bit of jimping here, but I don't think it matters so much. What you have also nicely with this kind of form of blade is it allows for very precise cutting, like cutting something out of a bad part of an apple or a tomato. So it goes very well with a tip like that. So that is why, I mean, it's quite nice. For some people it may be a bit too big, roughly 9 centimeters. It's strong, no play. Perfect. So let's compare with the other one. It's actually its little brother. You see? Get them side by side. It's a Klotzli Sailor. Also a Walker design, as it says on the blade, if you can see, perhaps you can see. 80s34 hollow ground blade, it all applies again. Here, this is ground also, but it's not sharp, it's a falsage. So it's like the more gentlemanly everyday carry version of the previous one. And indeed, it is roughly 7 centimeters, 70 millimeters. The blade which should be good enough for most users, ATS 34, so it's quite nice. For now, in contrast to many Klotzlis, the handle is actually made of steel, not of titan. Well, the outside handle is made of steel, and it has been etched with acids, which gives a nicely modern, well, timeless. As most Klotzlis, in my opinion, are timeless. It's not a fashion brand, it's timeless, pure design. And this is also nice. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that the liner itself, both sides, that these are made of titanium, but you cannot really see it. It's not sandblasted, so you don't have that typically grey color. I think it's titanium, but I would need to look it up, and I'd be too lazy for that. It's more to give you an idea how it is in the hand. Light and very strong. Also beautiful, to give an idea about the nice finishes. In fact, so you have the liner which sticks out a bit, and then the outside scale, and they are both rounded. So, which gives it's beautiful, it's precise, as you can see, the two roundings. Now, unfortunately, there's only one complaint here. The insides of the liners, they have not been rounded, which actually, you're not going to cut yourself, but you feel it. The insides are, if you grab it, you get with the finger in between, or just by grabbing, you feel it's a bit sharp, the insides. Here also at the back, typically here at the back, this is a bit sharp. So that's a bit a pity. If they would have just just put a tiny rounding there as well, it would have been totally perfect. But even so, I think, like my other two Klotzlis, these two are, I would say, perfect EDC tools. Smaller one, or the luxurious bigger brother. Clearly not really tactical. It's gentle. We're talking again gentleman, lifestyle, quality of life. That's the kind of knife, practical, beautiful tools. That's what they are. So this was a short review of these wonderful two Klotzlis. I hope this was interesting and amusing, even viewing for you. And as always, feel free to leave bluntly honest feedback.